No one plays Parry, so GGG made a couple of changes to Parry coming up in this point 4 league. I thought I'd put it on myself to give it a shot. I took a character to level 93 to find out if is Parry decent. Let me run you guys through the the build. It's definitely not complete. Value of my gears, maybe like 20 div. We got a crit spear, all melee skills, cold attacks, cold damage. Evasion is absolutely useless on this ring, but I'm using what I can get. We're running Brass Dome. So the reason why we're running Brass Dome is because, I'm playing Titan. The reason why I'm playing Titan in the first place is the area in which the Titan starts off as. It's close to crit nodes, it's close to area nodes, and that's kind of where we want to be at. Now this is where it's kind of important. This one, Polished Iron. I think you could play Pathfinder as well. I think Pathfinder works because she can kind of start here, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, so stun threshold equals to 30% of your item armor. That's a lot of stun threshold, and it kind of enables you to keep the shield up. So Brass Dome, a lot of armor. Titan, that's more armor on the body armor. Got the helmet here. Ideally, I'm missing armor plus the chaos damage, which is kind of the weakness of this build right now. I haven't really spent the time to craft it. I don't know if I will. I'm kind of getting a little bit bored of it. It is really fun, I had a good fun 40 hours, but I don't know how much I want to take this build forward. I got a pretty decent, amulet here. It's got maximum mana, but the mana is actually pretty useful. My Fangs of Frost right now is at, level 31. So it's pretty good there. I'm allocating Careful Assassin here, which is crit chance. And then I got this shield, which enables a little bit more crit. I'm applying critical weakness. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like, it's a plus to critical chance instead of a % increase, which allows me to, crit a lot more. One of the main issues that I haven't solved yet is how to keep the parry debuff and then use it with Elemental Sundering, because I'm missing like 100% more damage.
I'm not ready.
So I got, just boots, armor, getting my reses up, stuff like that. Let's go over to the skills here. Attrition. I think they kind of buffed this, so I was giving it a try. You guys saw how long the boss fights were. Parrying is not the way for killing bosses, apparently. So you're standing in there a lot, and parrying and attrition actually, it stacks up. It's only 30 a spirit now, so it's pretty decent. Fangs of Frost here. I got Blindside, because with parrying, we're applying blind here. And so Blindside, 15% more critical chance, 15% more critical bonus. Then I got Ancestral Call. This ideally gets replaced. It's very good for leveling up, but I don't really need it anymore. If it consumes a parry buff, your 2 other strikes is also gonna cause the explosion, which is why you're seeing the crazy area, clear. But there's a reason why I don't need this anymore, and I'll explain later. But we got Area of Effect, more elemental attack damage, Ice Bite. Ideally, I would replace Ancestral Call with Total Stillness. I'm kind of missing that. I'm like 6 divs right now. Your boy's a little bit broke. So the reason why we don't need Ancestral Call anymore is because of this node right here. Strikes deal splash damage. Now, how it works is it applies even to your parries. Your parries will, do splash, which is why you're seeing the parry area be very large without any parry area nodes at all. See how big the strike range is of parry. And this also applies to the Fangs of Frost explosion. So you're getting multiple explosions when the initial one splashes. Pretty big. I might be wrong with it, but I have 2 weapon sets I've tried. This is weapon set 2, and with weapon set 1, I don't have this, and I can definitely feel it. Let's continue the skills here. Herald of Ice, I don't even have F5 linked. Infernal Cry. The rotation is for bosses. You hit them with the freezing mark. Once they freeze, you get the 30% increase cold gain as damage. Then you hit them with the Primal Strikes. Now they just buffed Primal Strikes now, and it now applies exposure of 50%, which is pretty nuts. Now, the thing about Primal Strikes is going to consume shock, but what we have here is Charge Mark, which applies shock ground to the floor, which will apply shock once again once we hit the elemental sunray. So it's definitely the vision gameplay. You're doing a lot of buttons. I'm not gonna lie. You're clicking a lot of shit to get the big damage. Then after Primal Strikes, Infernal Cry, Elemental Sundering. Ideally with this, I have a lot of crit here. This is, more crit when they're blind. Overextend, more crit damage, inexorable crits. So this one, essentially, it's a lot of crit stuff. That's pretty close combat. Yep, there we go. I'm running Time of Need. I'm sure there's something better. I'm sure I can run Berserk or something. I haven't really put too much thought in it. So for the skill tree though, this is what we're looking at. It's area, this is really important. I got this right here. It's pretty big. But we're also running Prism of Belief on +3 on Fangs of Frost. We're also getting Control Metamorphosis. This just allows me to get, a couple of these nodes for easy. So for weapon set 2, which is for clearing, I'm getting area and definitely, Tribal Fury, which is huge. And for weapon set 1 for bossing, I'm just going here for Parry Magnitude. And essentially what this is huge is if you're playing Titan, 50% more. And this is kind of like this is straight up like more damage on the tree, which is crazy because this is worth 7% to your parry. And parry is more damage. So 15% of 50% more damage is 7%. Added on, 57% more damage when you attack a target that's parried. And so we have a bunch of this, and it's around like 111 or 107 more damage if I hit a target that's parried. Now we also have this Ulaman's Gaze, which came out in 0.3, I believe, and that allows us to hit chances lucky against parried enemies. So we have a bunch of these. I'm pretty much gonna be critting on Fangs of Frost. I think I've calculated, even though it says like it's 42% with lucky crit and against a blind target, I should be looking at like 90%, 85 to 90 plus crit chance. And so Fangs of Frost kind of cooks. So for weapon set, I'm just swapping. So for weapon set 1, I got Pounce. This here is just for, Holy Descent. We're taking 2 cooldown recovery just to get to places faster. Approaching ground makes it bigger. Efficiency, this definitely can be replaced, but it's whatever, I don't really have anything here except for block chance and attack speed. I definitely could get a better one, but I'm not really using this for anything but getting around faster. And that's kind of it. I think overall I had a pretty decent campaign. The campaign wasn't anything too crazy, to be honest. I did start the character off in hardcore and got one shot because I was trying to parry and they summoned a fucking quadrilla in front of me.
Man, you're fucking kidding me. What the fuck, man? What?
Which got nerfed the day after. So I was kind of a little bit salty about that. But, the character started in hardcore. It definitely feels like it would beat the campaign in hardcore. I wasn't really having a bad time. I was in, interludes by the time I got one shot by quadrilla. Overall, I'm definitely gonna keep playing this a little bit more casually. There's definitely a lot of improvements I could do in the character, but I kind of wanted to get something out. I do have a little bit of parry feedback that I thought of. Not to be crazy here, but like maybe in a lottery chance someone at GGG sees this, because I feel like I'm one of like 5 people who play parry. Maybe there's something that they can add to help improve parry. I wish there was a way to display the heavy stun bar and like this as a number instead, like right on top of your life maybe. Fangs of Frost needs more AoE. I kind of don't believe that anymore after getting into a late game as Titan. I definitely felt that in the campaign, but overall, like, I think I was fine through the campaign. I think Fangs of Frost, in terms of the AoE explosion, is fine, but I'm playing Titan, right? And maybe, in any other class, it feels absolutely terrible. Like if you're playing Bear in any class, like the AoE feels good. Like Fangs of Frost only feels good if you're playing Titan, I feel. It also, like, one thing that kind of sucks is you're sitting around and you're waiting for mobs to attack you. And I wish there was like some sort of support that like speeds up the monster. Obviously, you can kind of get that in the map, but like if there was a support that was like enemies in your presence, like have increased attack speed, because I'm sitting around waiting for the enemies to attack me. So I mean that would be good for parry, and I feel like that would be good for thorns. So, and the last thing is just like if you're playing parry, there are some bosses that are just unparryable, and I do see that like if you can parry all red attacks, it's just broken as fuck, to be honest. Because you could see me in King of the Mist, right? I was pretty much stunning that guy for eternity. He couldn't move because when you parry, it kind of like resets their animation. So I would like to see just to make parry playable against Zesht, because Zesht has like two parryable attacks. Otherwise, he's just firing like red attacks at you over and over. I just wish that there was at least something. It could be like a lineage support. It could be like a unique shield where, like, if you parry at a perfect time or something, you can like parry red attacks. Just like the difference between parrying at the perfect time and like dodging is, I feel like it's a timing thing. And so, GGG allow us to parry red attacks if you parry at the right time. Put some Dark Souls in it. That's the vision. Because I feel like they're taking some Dark Souls inspiration here. But overall, I think that's kind of my thoughts on the parry build after taking it to level 93 here. Yeah, that's about it. Let's run a map here. We got a T15 map here. Let me hit that with some mods real quick. Oh, wrong weapon set. I was just bossing. I mean, you can see it's there. You can definitely see the area is definitely there. But I'm playing Titan. The area king. There's kind of the jank that I'm talking about, like of waiting for enemies to hit you, and it gets worse because it's chill, because of the chill effect on the spears. Yeah, you definitely need pounce because of how that works. I'm skipping this mechanic because it's absolutely boring to me. I'm gonna keep it like kind of swift here, not take too much time. See how big the strike range is of parry. This is due to the strike splash. Oh, this is perfect. This is the best ritual right here. Is the rats, because you can sit here and it'll be like infinite parries. It's kind of like the best. That is the best case scenario right there. Yeah, it definitely feels like a completely different game when you can just parry whenever you want, right? Maybe, yeah. This is why I like exclusively farm ritual. Because most ritual mechanics are actually parryable. Boss here, I'm gonna switch to weapon set 2. Or weapon set 1, I mean. I did not crit, unfortunately. Oh, if I crit there, she would have been dead because, unfortunately, I am sitting at 52% with the more multiplier, so like 65% chance to crit. Definitely could work on that a bit more here. But yeah, that was a tier 4 boss. I mean, I got, 4 to map boss difficulty. It definitely could be higher, but I'm a little bit lazy and I don't want to keep blasting maps with this character. I'm not going to lie.